love me?
I mean, yeah.
No, we can't.
I'm recording off.
Well, maybe if you came
audio.
down here, you could play with us.
I know.
I don't believe in transportation.
Transportation doesn't. Dude, you own a truck and a bike. Did Greg ever figure out how to spell strength?
We
Nope,
spelled it
I left
correctly.
it alone.
I'm like 90% sure we spelled it correctly the first time.
Are you looking for a $9 hooker?
Yeah, dude. I think I found one.
Math is absolute. So wouldn't numbers be like superheroes in the 12th dimension?
Probably. That's why they don't exist.
White chocolate. I'm an amateur house as well as a shifter that could transfer him from male to female should the time rise.
All right. So what are y'all doing in the bar while is hitting on the barmaid?
I suppose I'm just chilling, eating beer nuts.
I'm going to the bar to see what the fuck is going on, but I'm starting to like not get high anymore.
You trying to look for some refreshments?
Intel
Give me a perception check.
is 12.
You can kind of tell just based off of how this barmaid is acting that Snoopy shit going on. She's not exactly just a barmaid.
No, don't press anything.
Well, I know what's going on, and I'm gonna continue on and figure out more about like what she knows. You know?
All right, give me a dankness check.
A what? Dateness?
Yeah, give me a dankness. I got a 19, so this is some 14 dankness shit that you got. So basically, when you finish smoking this joint, all colors become negative.
Negative.
Oh.
You also can also have a really distinct feeling about people's personalities and what they do for a living now. Things.
I'm gonna have to figure out what's really going on. So I'm going to the next person. I'm gonna leave that bartender alone.
You see a really old man.
Yeah.
Doesn't
he'll
look
know
like
what's
there's
going
things-
on.
All right. Give me gonna go talk to him?
Yeah.
Old man kind of like looks up at you and he pulls a pipe and just fucking lights a match and just starts puffing on his pipe. Doesn't say a word, just starts smoking.
I'm smoking with him. I gotta light up too.
Are you gonna ask to like share his at your own piece?
Nope, my own stuff. I gotta be high all the time. So
Roll dankness.
17.
Everything stops and you go into like this realm where you see exactly how shit's gonna play out.
You got a 17 on dankness.
Yeah.
So you go to not quite the 12th dimension, but it is a realm beyond this world.
Well, what's he talking about with the story? Like,
So he just kind of like looks up at you, takes a gnarly puff off his corncob pipe, and says, "This is all Daniel the Tiger's fault. You need to talk to the barmaid." Daniel the Tiger was the hero of old who originally killed the great.
yeah.
And this old guy is sitting here telling you that everything that's happening now is his fault, and you need to go talk to the barmaid. All right, give me a dexterity check because you're high as hell now.
17.
What you perceive is very slowly, but is actually at a pretty normal pace. Walk over to the barmaid.
Languages. I got common, deep speech, dwarvish, and gnomish.
I know.
So I'm gonna just start speaking in tongues right now to him, just to see if he freaks out or whatever, or if he understands me.
What you perceive is you talking to her in like you're just having real talk with her right now, trying to get answers.
Yeah.
You really just sound like, and then she goes back to getting on. All right, so you shut. He goes flying over the bar, into the liquor rack, and into a back room. And then the barmaid gets upset and tells you to leave.
All right, so I'm going out to the bar.
I'm black. What did I miss?
Yeah, I'm lighting up another joint, and I'm outside the bar. That's when I'm starting to like see everything else outside the bar. What's going on? You know.
Oh, we'll get back to you. So Greg basically got high with this old guy who told him that the barmaid needed to be talked to. Basically, what you need to know is that you got shoved, and you are now being cared for by the barmaid.
Okay.
Kicked out of the bar. So if you would like him to travel with you, you need to convince this barmaid to let him back in the bar. Get this barmaid's attention because he was told that she knew stuff.
So I need to convince the barmaid to let Greg back in the bar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hey baby, we're
Yeah.
in love real good. We're real deep in love
So-
right now.
She looks at you and says, your friend can come back in the bar, but he needs to stop talking in tongues.
I'm gonna watch how this plays out for a little bit.
All right, so I say okay, and I go over to Greg outside, and I'm like, listen, man, I know we just met, and I talked to the bartender. She said you're good to come into the bar, but you gotta stop being so weird, dude.
Weird.
She said,
All right,
I just came to, man. I don't know. And she said you were talking in tongues or some shit.
Right, and then that's when I'm going to tell you that I smoked, like all the dirt about what's going on outside the bar with the massacre. So I'm coming back in. I'm just going to chill out and smoke with the old man again.
The bartender has information about what's going on. Hugh, white chocolate, and Niyur, while they're all chilling at a table, what are you doing?
So after speaking with Greg, I'm gonna go over to my main squeeze, the bartender. So I see all of them at the table, and I throw a little smoke signal at Greg, like a little puff pass. And then I go over to my bae, the bartender, and I'm like, hey, what's going on?
She looks at you and she says, can you be trusted?
I sweat a little bit from my brow, and I go, yeah.
She looks around and says, gather your friends and follow me.
All right, so I walk over to Greg, Brianna, and Heckler, and I'm like, hey guys. And then I look down at Heckler and I'm like, who's this guy?
Wait, when did we meet? When did we meet him?
He was just somebody in the bar.
Okay.
He was sitting down at the table with
So
all
he's
of us.
like, okay, got
I
it.
just look at everybody and I'm like, hey, listen, the bartender said that she knows what's going on and that she can trust us, but you guys need to come with me. We're gonna follow her.
Okay, I got to smoke a joint.
The bartender takes you over to that back room that Greg shoved into, and you see she starts counting stones on the wall, and then she just pushes one, and the wall opens, and then she starts going down a long, dark tunnel.
So is it lit up at all, or?
No, it's pitch black. What kind of dwarf are you?
I think a hill dwarf.
Greg, what kind of dwarf are you?
I'm a mountain dwarf.
You have dark vision, so you can see about 30 feet in front of you.
Yeah, what's on the walls? Or is it just straight rock?
It's not straight rock. You see hieroglyphs of humanoid figures, but instead of faces and hands, they have beaks and wings.
Sweet. How far is this tunnel? Is it going down or what?
Nobody else can see this, just you, because you have dark vision.
No, only for 30 feet.
As you keep walking down and studying the walls, you see another humanoid. This one is totally human.
To see darkness, I'm actually up to 60 feet.
Yeah.
As you're walking down, you see another hieroglyph. This one's of an actual person, but he's decked out in a huge set of armor. Homeboy looks like he has a wall for armor.
But she could hear us, right? She's leading us down this tunnel.
Yeah, he's leading you down this hallway, and you just keep seeing hieroglyphs of these weird bird people and this weird dude with the huge ass armor. And then finally, this bartender, I should probably give her a name. Beyonce. Yeah, this bartender's name is Beyonce. She finally takes you to a little room. In this room, you see a couple treasure chests, and she says, you all look ill-fitted for adventure. What kind of weapons and armor do you desire?
So since last time you wouldn't recognize my dick as my weapon, I want something that'll go over my dick that'll make it more powerful than it already is.
Doesn't exist.
You're a f***er, man.
You can use your dick, but she's offering you a legit weapon.
I'll take
Yeah.
short sword, and then also I'm a proficient in light armor, so I'll take some light armor.
You get a cloak, and it's made out of a metal, but it's a very thin, flexible metal. Add 2 to your armor class. Cloak of the Erector set.
Okay. Alright.
And you wanted a short sword?
Yeah.
So Beyonce hands you a short sword. It deals 1d4 damage. It is the short sword of the erection.
Wait, that's its name, the short sword of the erection?
Yep, and the blade is shaped like a dick.
Hell yeah.
I was
Alright.
looking at my notes and it says barmaid titty grabbed.
Yeah, and then Greg pushed you in the middle of the titty grab.
Greg, I turn around now that I'm remembering all this. Hey, you, Uranus. What the
I was doing good.
And then I look over at my bae and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's up?
Oh my god.
She smacks your hand away and says, now is not the time for this.
I hurt my pride a little bit.
All right, so you take 2 damage because she hurt your pride because she cockblocked you.
All right.
All right, Greg, do you want a weapon or do you just want to like chill with your fists?
No, I want a weapon, and I see a warhammer that can turn into a bong later. So I want the warhammer.
Warhammers are pretty heavy, and as a monk, you're really not that great at wielding heavy weapons. So you're going to have to take a penalty whenever you swing it, but you have the Warhammer of Kush.
Hell yeah, boy.
It deals 2d6 worth of damage. Your penalty for swinging it and being unproficient at it is that you have to make a dexterity save every time you swing it. And then there's a little lever on the handle that you can flip, and it basically like Autobots transforms into a bong.
Sweet. What was the name of it? Warhammer of what?
Kush.
Let's do crossbow.
So you get a crossbow. All right. So your crossbow deals 2d4 worth of damage. You get 30 bolts, and your crossbow's name is Guinness.
Yeah, my man.
And it is a very dark ebony wood, and written in like fancy gold script across the side, it just says Guinness.
I'm so proud of you.
All right, Heckler, what class are you again?
Which what? Class?
Yeah.
I'm just a, wizard. That's about it.
All right. You get a spell. We're getting crazy. Heckler, she hands you a deck of many things.
All right.
No, the deck of many things is pretty f***ed up.
He's got the true power. That's awesome.
He really does. All right, so I'm just gonna straight up read you what it says in the manual. This deck contains a number of cards. Before you draw a card, you must declare how many cards you intend to draw, and then randomly, any cards drawn in excess of this number have no effect. Otherwise, as soon as you draw a card from the deck, its magic takes effect. You must draw each card no more than 1 hour after the previous draw. If you fail to draw the chosen number, the previous number of cards fly from the deck on their own and take effect all at once. Once a card is drawn, it fades from existence. Unless this card is a fool or jester, the card reappears in the deck, making it possible to draw the same card twice. So basically, this card has 13. This deck has 13 cards. If you want to draw from it, you say like, I want to draw 2 cards. You draw 2 cards, and then depending on what the card is, its magic takes effect. And some of these cards are pretty dope. Most of them f*** you over immediately. So it's a high risk, high reward type situation.
Well, I am an amateur wizard that screws up most of the time, so that works out for me.
Yeah, like some of these effects are like you have a wish spell, which literally grants you whatever, but some of them can also just kill you.
Hey, I just want to say your booty when you stood up.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
Hey, Greg, that wife beater.
Hey, that no face.
No face.
So yeah, whenever you want to draw from it, just announce how many cards you want to draw, and then shit goes it goes hard.
Shit goes
Cool.
hard,
Now
What?
you get a crossbow.
and then the shit will go hard.
Yeah, or Heckler can just wish for everything to be okay. Now that y'all are equipped, you see Beyonce kind of heading off into a corner of the room, and she sits there and just draws a rune on the wall, like with her finger. You see a door kind of appear, and then the wall just sort of disappears, and you see a staircase. She starts headed up the stairs.
Is she wearing a dress?
No. Well, I mean, yes, but it's like down to her ankles. Like she looks full on Muslim in that dress.
Question.
Answer.
Is she like a chaotic good, chaotic bad, or do we know yet? Neutral.
You don't know yet?
Stop.
Just assume everybody is true neutral.
This is my time right now when she's opening that door. I'm whispering to Hugh Jass about what I saw on the walls, because she knows that information too, so she can pass that on.
All right, so I'm just going to assume that everybody now knows about all the hieroglyphs. So as y'all are headed up this staircase, you see candles on the wall that are lighting the way. They're not like full-blown torches, they're just like candles. And as you guys reach the top of the stairs, it opens up into what looks like a living quarters almost, except it's more military-esque. There's like spears on the walls, armor. So
I asked Beyonce once I'm in there, am I allowed to smoke right now?
she says, "Go ahead." And just out of game, if you guys ever want to like investigate an area, try to get some dirt, just straight up you can always ask like, "Hey, what do I see?" There's something that you guys need to find. I'll often ask for a perception check.
All right,
Do I need to
roll
roll
us a
for a
perception
take
check?
Shoot.
All right, I got an 18.
You notice that the armor wouldn't exactly fit a human. The helmets all have it's basically half a helmet, but it's shaped like the top half of a bird's head. And there's no real like body armor.
What?
It's all just like helmets and spears and bows and stuff like that. But none of it looks like it could be fitted to a human.
Is it like very ornate or like decorative?
You can tell that it's definitely been used. As far as ornate features on said armor, on the like you see like etched carvings of a key, but other than that, you can tell it's been used.
Does it look like suspicious?
No, it looks like everything is the way it should be.
Okay.
I noticed that there's a shine in the corner of this like hallway place thing, and I know that it may be something like a flask. Do I investigate?
Yeah, you can go investigate the shining.
But it's got like cobwebs
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Can I get off the refrigerator?
Can I take it?
Never
Can I
shake a
smell
baby.
it? Is it worth
Yeah.
it?
Give me a perception check.
Wait, no, I need this.
10.
No, don't press buttons.
All right, so
It's funny.
you can tell it's a flask that's filled with liquid. What the liquid is, you don't know.
It's gotta be pee.
Do I drink it? Do I smell it?
It does not have a smell, and then you kind of pour a little bit on the ground to see if there's a color to it, and it is a clear liquid with no scent. All right, give me a Constitution check.
I don't remember
Oh
what that was.
shit.
13.
You are now pleasantly buzzed.
Yes. So it was not as painful as I thought it was going to be. And then,
And then you grow a dick.
so I put the. Alright, so I'm going to put it in my pocket. And I am feeling so great from this mystery alcohol that I feel like I could run on walls and shit.
As y'all are standing there snooping around, you hear a bunch of what sound like birds and the sound of very heavy wings beating.
Does it sound like wings beating or people jacking off?
It sounds like flapping, like
Okay.
just massive wings, just like.
Is there any doors or anything that we can see?
Give me a perception check.
I got an 8.
All right, so if you look up, you can kind of you start to notice that, or you notice that there are. It's not doors, but it's like windows, but there's no glass.
Oh, okay.
Can you see outside of them?
Yeah.
You can't see anything, but you can definitely tell that whatever is flapping around outside is getting closer.
And I see it.
Can I?
Give me a perception check. All right, whoever wants to see out the windows, give me a perception check and tell me what you got. All right, Greg. Wait, was that a natural 20?
Yeah.
All right, so you see with your dark vision and everything else, despite the fact that you're like 3 feet tall because you're a dwarf, you managed to climb up like on a stack of boxes, and you see figures outside that look like the hieroglyphs on the wall. They are humanoid in nature, but they have wings and beaks.
Where's Beyonce in this?
She's
In
dead.
the film?
Beyonce is off in the corner, and she
What's all over your arm?
has a device in her hand, and she's kind of like messing with it. but you can't really tell like what it is or what exactly she's doing.
Does she
What?
look malicious?
No. There is nothing malicious about what she's doing. And as you guys look at her, she continues doing what she's doing, but you can hear a clicking coming out of the device. And it's not like just random clicking. Like there seems to be a cadence to it. Like she's trying to like send a message. And says,
I want to tap on Dickerson's shoulder and be like, this is what I just saw outside. So he knows now. Now he can use his big dick.
Okay.
No, wait.
so-
What about? Hold on. Pause. Where do the wizard cards and shit come into this? Because
Whenever
I feel like.
draw a card,
No, I know.
So,
but I feel like you
Hector-
two are bouncing off of each other. What's going on with him, and what's going on with
Well,
me? And just, I'm trying to figure out. But I feel like every time he tries to say something, you. Ah, blah, blah. Where's my penis and jerking off? Shut up for a minute.
all right, white chocolate, what are you doing?
Jerking off.
I'm gonna punch you.
I was trying to make since the cave is dark, trying to see what spell I can come up with to make some sort of like fire dog or animal that leads will light the way where we're going.
Go
Right.
home. Go
I don't know how well that's turned out yet. So, I will draw one card to make a fire animal to light the way of the cave.
So you're drawing from the deck of many things?
Yeah,
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's about to get sweet.
About to pop.
Are you ready for this, Heckler?
yeah.
You drew the Ace of Spades. You disappear and become entombed in a state of suspended animation in an extra-dimensional sphere. Everything you were wearing and carrying stays left behind in the space you occupied when you disappeared. You remained imprisoned until you were found and removed from the sphere. You can't be located by any divination or magic, but a wish spell can reveal the location of the prison.
Right out the gate, huh?
Hugh Jass notices that Heckler just like vanished into f***offery. So since Heckler f***ed up right out the gate,
It's a character.
I'm gonna say that you can hear him as a disembodied voice.
Okay.
You are the only one he can talk to.
I kind of ask him about his surroundings and like what he sees.
Yeah, I didn't expect Heckler to f*** up that bad, like right out the gate.
Thank you, Daddy.
You
So-
expect very little of me.
So, I just realized how in character this is for white chocolate. So as Beyonce is sitting there like f***ing around with this thing, she like looks over and just like sees a puff of smoke and like, all of Heckler's shit fall to the ground. And she just kind of like puts her head in her palm and is like, God fucking damn it. And then she like snaps her fingers and Heckler reappears. And she takes the deck of many things from Heckler and says, you're not ready for this. You done f***ed up, AA Ron.
Oh.
And then she goes,
Is this thing like a crystal? Is it like a Rubik's Cube? Is it like...
Yo, have y'all ever seen the Da Vinci Code?
Yeah, that crazy thing?
Yeah, so it looks like that, only instead of like making like words and shit to like solve an
Hey, guys,
international
I'm gonna-
wait.
puzzle.
I'm gonna bounce real fast. Ben had a nasty fall, so I'm gonna
All
talk
right.
to you later. I'll be in the void, and I'll come back when y'all need.
Well, you already came back.
All right.
Oh,
All right, so it looks like that, but instead of like making words to like solve an international art puzzle, it's just making clicks. And as you guys pay attention to it, you realize that the clicks have slightly different pitches to them. And as she's sitting there doing it, the room you're in, like shadows start to loom over the room, and the bird people that Greg saw start to land on the perches outside and come in the room.
All right, so I walk up to her and I say, "What the f*** are you doing?"
She kind of like looks up at you and says, I'm summoning those who can help us right now. Leave me alone.
Is she being truthful?
Yeah, you can tell she's being truthful. As more and more of these bird creatures start to land, she kind of like puts this thing down and goes over to an older looking one who's got like war paint on and like beads hanging out of his hair. And he looks like he's seen some shit in his day. And they start going back and forth in a conversation.
Can we understand this conversation?
Yeah, they are speaking English. They're kind of they're too far away. You can't really make out any words. And I mean, the homeboy has a beak, so it's just kind of like flapping up and down, so you can't really read lips that way.
Can I go investigate?
The second you try to move, you are so high you trip over a piece of armor and it clangs to the ground and everybody looks at you.
Sweet.
Can I try to sneak and hear what they're saying?
Yeah, sure. All right, so you sneak over. You hear them talking about something called a phylactery, and this bird dude kind of like looks up at all of you and like kind of like tilts his head like he's confused. And you hear them go back to talking about how, you know, you guys may not look like much, but, you know, Beyonce thinks that you are going to be the ones to actually destroy this thing called a phylactery. So their conversation starts to wrap up, and this old grizzled-looking bird dude starts walking up to Hugh Jass and Niyur Yannis, I guess white chocolate, and he looks around and says, I was told there are 4 of you. Why are there, or I was told there were 4 of you. Where's the other one?
I just kind of step out of the shadows and was like, sorry, I had to take a piss.
He looks at you and says, really? You just piss in corners like that?
I didn't see bathroom.
And he kind of like points over to a far wall, and you just see a perfectly functional toilet.
I say...
Like, it's not hidden or anything. It's just there.
I say I'm sorry.
He kind of like puts his hand in his face in his hand wing thing, and is just like, God damn it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that going around lately.
So he looks back at you. He's like, I don't know how Beyonce could fall in love with an idiot such as yourself.
Whoa. She's in love with me?
You kind of like look up and you see Beyonce is kind of like looking at the ground and blushing.
I blow her a kiss and I'm like...
I roll my eyes.
Homeboy basically looks at all of you and is like clearly frustrated with every single one of you. So Niyur Yannis, do you want to do anything because he looks exactly like the drawings you saw on the wall, or are you just gonna like let that be?
Yeah. Where is this person from? And what's his name? Or I'm asking him his name.
All right, he looks at you and he gets like a he goes from like a stern father look to kind of like an at ease, I know I f***ed up kind of dad, and he introduces himself as you know what, his name is going to be Chief Mix-a-Lot.
So now that I know his name, I'm a little bit more formally greeted or whatever. So I ask him where I'm at exactly, because I don't believe I'm just down a tunnel anymore.
So he looks at you and says, we're in a tower. You have probably always seen it, but it has always been forbidden. And he kind of like, pulls a map out of his, out of like a belt thing and opens it up. And it's a map of the town that you guys live in. And he points to a tower on the map and says, we're here. And you recognize the tower. You've seen it your whole life. You've just never been in there. And he says that the only way in and out of this tower is through a series of secret tunnels under the city.
So do I find anything else on this map, though?
There's a couple red lines drawn, and they all lead back to the tower. So you assume that those are the other secret passages he was referring to. And you see a bunch of markings on the map. They look like tactical markings almost.
Can I introduce everyone now to him? Like, are we that cool? Or am I that cool with him yet? Or
So you are not that cool with him, but yeah, you can go ahead and do that. So basically, he is going to greet everybody kind of like gruffly, like, hey, hi. I'm not gonna get to know you for that long because I'm about to send y'all off on a quest. And that's kind of like the vibe that's going off right now, is that he is reluctantly friendly with you. Chief Mix-a-Lot gives you the rundown that him and his people are a species known as Tengu. That's about as much information as you need. They'll never come up again. Many years ago, his people were saved from genocide by a dude named Raymond the Wall. And they've been acting as Falsa's basically first-line army ever since, but they operate in secret. And he continues by saying, back when Daniel the Tiger went out and killed the Great Lich, he f***ed up and didn't destroy what's known as a phylactery, which is a lich's source of power. So now this great lich has come back, and he needs you to go and find this phylactery and destroy it. He says that the farthest they ever got was a tip that the Great Lich's original hometown was a little place called Foglight. He basically needs you to go fix the mistakes of Daniel the Tiger and go destroy the Great Lich's phylactery so that this Great Lich can actually be killed.
What exactly are we looking for?
He says a phylactery can be anything. It's what a lich stores his soul in. All they know about this dude was that his original name when he was human was Simon, and that he is originally from this little town known as Foglight, but he has no idea what the phylactery is, what it looks like, or where it's at in the world.
I turn to Greg and I'm like, it's probably a dildo.
Since I'm cool with
I'm gonna give Heckler a rundown of everything that happened, and then I gotta bounce because me and Eleanor got to get dressed all spiffy to go take Christmas card photos.
Cool.
So basically, what happened is you all are being sent off to go find the phylactery of this great lich and destroy it. And your first stop is a little place called Foglight.
Cool.
You're back, by the way.
Yeah.
Sweet. That
Yeah.
didn't take
So basically, what happened was, like, the second you disappeared, Beyonce, like, looked up, saw you disappear in a puff of smoke, went, God damn it, and, like, snapped you back into existence.
Keep in mind,
And,
more time.
You probably learned a lot though while you were gone.
and one more thing, Heckler can now communicate with Greg about the 12th dimension.